Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started and call the meeting to order at 4:15. Jan's in this meeting because I just used her login just to get in.
I was like, Jan?
She was logged into the computer.
I was like, oh no, someone stole your password and it's logging on.
Yeah, no, Jan was just logged in, so I just borrowed it so that we could, it was too much work. It's a quick turnaround to go from the faculty meeting that ends at 4 to this. It was
I
great.
didn't have your stuff. I was like, I have to go get my stuff. I'm just like not ready to be here.
Okay, so we'll note that all of our council members are present tonight and we do not have any other members here. So we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the approval of the agenda. We want to take a second to review and then we'll take a motion and a second. Okay, a motion by Miss A, second by Miss Gherkin.
I like the font.
Yes, the font is Avenir.
Oh, we have to use this.
This is my font. This is Avenir is our font. It is the logo font. No, it's just what the logo was. So that's, I'm putting it on everything.
A little type A, like.
Have you met me?
I know that, like, even I'm very type A, but like really, like.
So
The district. This is your font.
I'm all in.
This is your font. This is your color. This is your.
We jumped in both feet.
We're here, whether we want to be or not. We are here. We're rocking with it. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving our agenda for today, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting from July 18th of 2023. So if you want to go ahead and look at the old ugly font for a little bit, and then we'll look at our new pretty fonts again.
Well, it actually is much more appealing. Yeah, I will give you that.
It's a.
No, that's our font.
It's
We can't
appealing
use
when
that
he uses
font.
the same font.
It is specifically for ours.
Yes,
I would never.
Kelly got one that had multiple fonts in it because I was copying and pasting.
Your letters were off. I was like, what are we doing?
Yep.
Oh dear. What is-
Minute. I'll make a motion to the minute.
Motion by Ms. Hobbs.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Bowers. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor of approving our minutes, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is the good news report. We have, since we last met, we had an office staff retreat. We had our kindergarten summer ignite, which was great. We were able to get eyes on some kids that it was great to have plans for coming in the first day of school, because it would have been a different story if we had not. We had a new staff retreat. We had a team lead retreat. We had an opportunity to meet with our student house chairs over the summer, and they did our display cabinets in the front with the teacher house chairs. So they're working on keeping those updated, and we're trying to really incorporate that into really leadership roles for those kids for everything. We had a week-long wonderful professional learning opportunity. Don't disagree. So we had our kindergarten popsicle night from the PTA, which was super well attended. There were a ton of kids there. It was awesome. We had our cleanup day. We had meet the teacher night, which it was popping in here. We had a great tons of people. We had chalk the walk. We had a great first 3 days of school. And then on Friday, we got to celebrate and sort our new students into their houses. And that was so much fun. It was great to see our 5th grade students like go over and grab a kindergartner and be like, okay, come on, you're in our house, and go get them a shirt. And oh my gosh, it was precious.
We had a pretty decent turnout with cheers and cheers.
Oh, yes.
for PTA, and a lot of kindergarten parents that like really, it's just been really nice to see some of the kindergarten families get to know each other and make connections. And they were all talking about who their teachers were and where they lived. And it was really sweet. So I feel like that's really good community engagement stuff for us.
Yeah.
See them, like the new kids. It was
I
nice.
think having the meet the teacher the Monday of the of the week is, and you hit, everybody should be in town
Yeah.
theoretically.
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround for transportation, but our team was able to pull it off and every kid got home. Day one. So,
He was really smooth.
Yeah.
At least.
I was on the playground with walkers and I was like, are the car riders already done? Like, I felt like you guys, it was really good. Like, I just remember those first few weeks being like, are you kidding me? And you guys were on it. It was awesome.
I was really worried about Jan today because halfway through the car numbers, they just stopped coming in, and Jan's outside and it's 2,000 degrees out there. I was like, did Jan fall over? Does someone need to go and get Jan? There was just buses coming out and the line had stopped.
But no, it was just buses, so.
Maybe the PTA needs to buy her a misting little fan water
Yeah.
bottle.
I think
Yeah.
it's one of those that go like around.
A
your
whole,
neck
we just need a
with
missing
the-
station out there.
Yeah, something. We need something to protect our.
I think I can make that.
Okay.
I really want the little
Wait, what you-
suits, the
Oh,
little
no, there's suit here.
and it like has an umbrella.
Yeah.
I've seen kind of funny people wear it when
I'll send you a link.
Uh-huh.
Culver's has them.
We'll just get you a bubble.
Yes, Culver's has.
Yeah,
them.
the little square over your
It's
head.
like a box that you wear, but it goes on your shoulder. So they can stand outside in the rain and take your order, but it like totally protects them. They don't have to hold the
Is it
umbrella.
like those soccer mom bubble things that you
Yeah,
can
but it's
sit in?
portable. You can walk in.
All right.
Okay, awesome. So we'll move down to, we don't have any public comments here unless anybody wants to say anything.
Oh, I want to thank the PTA and Crestwood for feeding us.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, that was very nice.
Yes.
Yes, that it has been a great partnership
It was
and
really fun. I just had a meeting over at Crestwood and we were continuing to talk about it and how much we enjoyed getting to know everybody and how excited we are to work with y'all.
Yeah. Okay, so the item number 2 deals with the school improvement planning report. We are still in phase 4, which is the monitoring phase. So we're just continuing to monitor our work and go from there. So we'll move down to budget reports. So we have our, the first budget report is the Munis budget. We have seen all of our money roll over. I'm sorry, and the spreadsheet, it didn't rotate it. I apologize. So don't look up there because that is a hot mess to look at. But so we have all of our money. We are actively working to start spending money, invest in different things that are going to benefit things. The teachers that moved grade levels that we approved the additional money for have been very appreciative of that money, and they've put it to good use. So that's been positive. So we're just continuing to roll through all of the money there. When we look at our next report, if you keep going and going and going and going and going, to the
21 pages.
21 pages, just get through all that. If you have questions, you can let me know. Our school activity funds,
What page?
yes.
Page 1 of 1.
Okay.
It looks like that.
Yeah. Turn back the other direction.
Yes. So the only thing that has changed on here is we did receive our check from the after-school program for the spring semester. It was $17,955.84 was our check. So that was a good amount there. So you can see in our after-school fund
What
right
was our
now,
previous one?
the previous, it was 32, like we got 5 in the fall. We got like 5,600 in the fall.
Oh.
And then we got 17,000 in the spring.
That's about 20 something.
I have no idea why it's all different and crazy. So last year with everything, we took in about $23,000 from the Y. And then the previous year it was closer to 28,000. The previous year they still had COVID money, so the profit was higher during COVID. And we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. The big expense you see here at the very bottom in 1,000 where it says sweep BOE, which means Board of Education, $4,551.27. That is coming out for classroom magazines. So we order those with funds from here. You can see it already was up in the classroom magazines line item. We just have to send it to the district for them to pay for it. So that is how much we pay for the classroom magazines,
Which are wonderful.
which are great. So, and forms are going home to parents who are able to help spend a little bit of money. We try and keep a bank every year to be able to buy more for the following year. This is Storyworks, Scholastic News, all those different magazines. So currently in our account, we have $75,753.54. Now I will say a lot of that is currently set aside for staffing right now because we still haven't gotten our money, but we're going to talk about what could happen with staffing in a week. Any questions on the budget reports? Awesome. Moving into our bylaw or policy reports, we'll move into the assignment of instructional and non-instructional staff time policy. If you remember, this is where we officially made the accommodations for the additional funds for staff members. This is a second read. So I'll let everybody review that. And we also added in about supplies and support for moving will be made available to assist. So whenever we're prepared, we can take a motion to approve if you like it.
I do have a question. How did all that go for like the people that moved and had the tenure versus people that moved and didn't have it? Were there complaints?
Nope.
Okay.
And we were very targeted in, we did not tell people, but we selectively told the people who it benefited.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
They were super, super grateful.
yes.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by
I'll
Ms.
second.
Bowers, second by Ms. Hill. Any more discussion? All in favor of approving our assignment of instructional and non-instructional staff time policy, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is not linked into the agenda for safety reasons, but you do have a copy in your packet. It is our updated emergency management plan. And this plan just goes over all the things that we do in the event of an emergency, who is trained in the building, who is responsible for supporting individual students, where we go in the event of an emergency. And just, this is a living document. So if we get a new student in, we update this to make sure that they're in our emergency plan and they are supported in that as well. We also have potential hazards in the building, and we do ask staff to identify what those hazards are. My favorite one is that colleagues say that the water in the dispenser tastes awful. Somebody turn that in. So it's on our hazard hunt. That's L. If you go to L, like at the top where it says L, it says five rows. So we put it in there. So
Colleagues say water just,
Uh-huh.
ensure
They're not
custodian.
wrong.
they're not, I didn't
It's
say they were
disgusting.
wrong. I did
I
like,
bring my own tap water
Where is
from
it?
home to drink.
on
It's
L.
my bag here.
right here, colleagues say the water tastes awful.
Oh, I never drink out of the water.
No, I
They
think-
reset the, where it says filter,
I
they
don't
just
think it
push the button
matters.
and reset it.
Yeah.
That thing has been there forever. I wouldn't drink out, I wouldn't let a dog drink out of it.
So
So like on the two-way radio, if
The
someone's not
main-
hearing.
Plus they do
anymore,
this.
did we not pull somebody
Plus
off?
the kids do this.
Okay, so I will
On the
update the two-way
two-way.
radio. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
It's just the water, in gen- like even the water, if I get sink water from my classroom, it's gross. I don't know what it is.
Sometimes mine out of my tap smells like chlorine, but I have like. a
That's when they
I
flush
wish
it.
this was chlorine,
That's when
because
Kentucky
it
American
smells
water is
good.
flushing, when it smells like chlorine. It's not harmful to you though. I only know that because I make it.
Okay, does anyone have any questions about the emergency plan? We did have a fire drill today and it went very well. We have one more this week and we do have a lockdown drill tomorrow.
Oh, I
Is
actually
that-
am reading this. I
confidential?
saw that there were people playing tennis when there was recess. Is
Yes.
that- Okay.
We are working with our SRO and we have hung signs that
I
say,
was just like.
I
man,
walk down
would
there
wanna
and I
go, but I
say,
know I'm not
You're not allowed to be here. And they go, oh, sorry. And I'll go, there's a sign right here.
Oh, I
They
know.
always
There's-
send me down there, like, you go down there.
This one.
Okay.
This is heads up. All of this is confidential
Yes.
information. You're not allowed to share. whatever you read.
yes, that's why it's not linked into anything so that it's just the council has access to it. But yes, that is one that we are definitely working on is the tennis courts and
Has
being
it
used.
happened like since this
Yeah.
started? Like,
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Twice.
I drove by once, so I saw it.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And then there's like a car and then I'm like, where's the car?
Also, Boots is not on here, our resident neighborhood
He is
cat.
okay.
He,
If anybody has anything negative to say about Boots, they can take it over.
Oh, he spent the whole day with us. And we
Boots is the
took him
orange
home
cat
and he
that,
came
Hard for,
back.
you don't understand how much this summer we worked to get Boots, because Boots originally lived over by Julius Marks. The family, he is a very dear member of our family, okay?
I thought he lived, where does he
He
live?
does live with them. He's a community cat.
I put water out front for him.
So Madeline came up and she's like, that's Boots. He has an Instagram. And I was like,
So,
what? Yes, this whole thing on the playground, like someone else takes care of it.
yes, he
They're
lives with
like,
the girls in the
He
wheelchair.
has a social media.
But he also hangs out a lot with the Rasnicks and the Bacons and the Hills, and he hangs out with all of us. And he's at church with us on Sunday. He's a lovely, lovely cat.
Yes. So,
No, don't you?
He doesn't need to be the Brandon Crossing cat.
He was inside though.
So
But I love the water outside.
I put the water out there yesterday
I
for him.
noticed that, so thank you.
Yeah,
That makes so much.
it was so
walking
funny
up and
because
seeing that.
real quick, I know you guys are really good with this, but they were the other family, like Amy, he kept on bothering the Sarvers and the Wheelers, like not, like just never leaving. And Aaron Sarver like texted me, he's like, do you want a cat? I was like, I already have a cat, what's going on? And then she showed up at the Wheelers one day, and we found the owner through church that he's texting, and they messaged the owner, and the owner was like, I actually don't want to back. Like we're not that fond of him. And we're like, well, so Boots has found his new home. He's a very important member of the community.
Yes. So,
But he doesn't like the Wheelers cat. because The Wheelers have a cat. They don't get along. So
A
that's
dog,
why
they
they
don't
don't
get
get
along.
out here.
That's
I got the whole rundown on the playground.
okay,
That's
so
hilarious.
Tell him, Boots.
do we have a motion to approve our emergency plan for this school year?
Yes. And it
Yes.
Have you added Boots, the neighborhood cat?
Okay, we're gonna say Miss Hill and then Miss A seconded. All in favor of approving our emergency plan, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
You
Okay.
can get one of those things for the door that says like animal in here or whatever. You could just put out instead of, you know.
Yeah, she gets at least 3 or 4 phone calls a day about where Boots is around town.
I'm so glad that he's loved
He
now.
always comes home.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the council bylaws. This is just a first reading of this. I went through and read all of this. The only change that I made was anywhere where it referenced IAKSS, I turned it to districts because the district is no longer IAKSS. So it is just the district. So
For what, like 3 years, and then they'll go back.
probably. So that is the only, that change, that's the only one that I found, and that's on page 2.
Because we can't change any of this.
We can change any of it.
That's SBDM law,
We can change most of it,
not the hiring part.
not the hiring part.
See, that's the part I want to change
What do you want to change about hiring?
because the council doesn't get to choose the principal anymore.
Oh, I got you.
Yep.
I
We
got
made
you.
it just in under the radar.
Yep. Okay,
So when you see the principal hires that have been like on the media, school didn't choose those people. The
Right.
Superintendent chose
it
those.
was one of the
Right.
top 2. So any other changes that you see for our bylaws?
Reading this.
So that will come back next month for our second read for the official change of 1 word. So that'll be back. The next item on our agenda is the technology use policy. I did not personally find any changes in this policy.
Just did it last year, right?
We review them every year, so we did revise it slightly last year.
Hey, isn't the AUP like digital now?
It is,
Mhm.
We
but
need to-
you know, you still have those families that that's next week's job.
Yeah.
Like this part about kept on file, like is it
It's on file in
Right,
Infinite
well, they
Campus.
So it
only have
just-
to do the AUP
on file is
once.
fine?
Yeah.
Yes, and the Chromebook right now, they're doing yearly, but I haven't gone to the STC meeting. That's next week. They may be changing that, we'll see.
Yeah, on file just means it's somewhere in the ether of the cloud.
And should we say like take it home unless like do people actually send them home?
Chromebooks?
Some do.
Yes, there are teachers that do.
Mhm.
They don't want to deal with the cords and the phones.
So are we good with this?
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. Moving on. The next policy, so we won't see technology use for another year. The next policy is the discipline policy. The changes that I made here, I changed the title of it from the Code of Acceptable Behavior and Discipline to what it's called, the Student Code of Conduct. I also changed that they will be provided with access because we do not distribute paper copies of these anymore, so they have access to the Student Code of Conduct. And then I made PBIS actually be what PBIS means, not PBSI. Any other revisions, anybody sees? So this will come back for a second read next month for those few changes. And our last policy for this month is the curriculum policy. This policy was just revised in March. The only changes that I made in here was anywhere it said curriculum committee. We're working to rebrand our committees to talk about, put the focus on success. So I am proposing that we change it to say, we call it student success.
Are we changing the policy name?
No, it still says the curriculum policy,
Oh.
but anywhere it says
The
curriculum
is the
committee,
student- okay.
it's going to be the student success committee, just to broaden their abilities, and that'll come up in the curriculum policy. They'll still have the same jobs. So. Any other recommendations for our curriculum policy? Awesome. That'll come back for a second read next month. So now we'll move into new business. The first item on the agenda for new business is the enrollment update. This just shows you where we stand with our enrollment across all grade levels. So great news is our kindergarten is popping. It is, and that I truly believe that was because of all the work we did around recruitment and just connecting with our community and really featuring all the great things Glendover was doing. I think we got a big enrollment there. So currently we are at 91 kindergarten students. We still have one more student that we're working with to get enrolled. So that'll put us at 92 there. Our kindergarten class sizes are all at 23 right now. So those are good. It's so great.
Good.
First grade is at 68. We have 3 classes at first grade and they're sitting around 23s right now as well. Second grade is at 70 students. There are 4 classrooms in second grade and we are sitting around 18 and 19s in second grade. Third grade is at 83 students. We have 4 classes there. We're sitting around 21s in third grade. Fourth grade is at a whopping 55. We're sitting around 18s. We have 3 classes there. We are sitting.
Oh, that was the cutoff year.
It was. That's the weird year. So technically, we could have 2 classroom teachers. Hint, hint. I'm just teasing. So we could technically, but they
Poke the bear on a Tuesday. Go ahead.
No, they're sitting at about 18s in fourth grade as well. And then fifth grade is at 67 with 3 classes. So they're sitting right around 23s, 22, 23s. So we've seen some students come in. We're at 434 students. While our kindergarten is bumping, our intermediate is still trending down a little bit. So that's where we stand. And we'll talk about the impact that'll have on staffing here in a minute. So the next item is the staffing and hiring updated. I did want to let everybody know that Karen Kirkland is currently our permanent certified sub. She picked that up through the system. We have Brian Angel, who's our band teacher, Todd Chamberlain, who's our band teacher, and then Hunter McDowell, who will be our new MSD teacher since our previous one resigned a couple weeks ago.
Who resigned?
Christine McClurg. She had just gotten hired.
Okay.
And so her family got offered a great opportunity out of state, but they could not refuse. So totally understand. Wish it would have happened sooner, but totally understand. And so Hunter is an option 6 candidate. So he is very new into the MSD world, but he's very eager to learn and grow. And so he's pursuing his master's in teaching for this. So, but the district person was out here today meeting with him and is coming back next week to really support him. So, and luckily right now in our MSD units, we don't have a ton of kids. So it's a good transition in. Right now he has 1 student on his caseload. So he's able to kind of get up and comfortable for a little bit. Some open positions. We are still kind of looking for a preschool para, not really, but we have a sub for that, whatever. So we are also looking for a temporary special education para. That's a sub. And we're also looking for 3 temporary para educators to work one-on-one with individual kids. So,
Why are you saying temporary?
because they are it's because of 504s and IEPs until they officially become special ed or something. We've been approved for paras
Like
to support.
emergency parent kind of situation.
Yes. So we've got 2 students in kindergarten who are in need of a para educator and a student in 2nd grade who's in need of a para educator. And so we currently, because we don't have as many students in MSD, we've been utilizing that staff to support these kids. But so if anybody wants to come work, we need some people. So we'd love to have you. So, okay, based on that, we're going to move into our day 10 staffing projections and recommendations. We will officially receive, this is still a projection. We will officially receive our updated staffing next week. Sometime day 10 is Tuesday. So sometime next week, we will get our official numbers. I am requesting, if the council's comfortable tonight, to vote on a recommendation. If we're not comfortable, that's fine. If we don't vote tonight, we'll have to have a special called meeting to discuss those things. So we'll run through this. You have it in your packet as well. So when we look at our starting balance, to start right now, we are negative $58,419. Okay, that is what we owe the district for the people we have currently in the building. If you remember, we overspent with plans to invest some money there. So with our current enrollment, we just reviewed this. We have 434 students. So based on this, in primary, we were allocated 12.5 teachers back in February. I'm projecting us to receive 13.5 teachers, which is a change of 1 full-time teacher. It is very close here. We're talking, it is 2 students. If we lose 2 kids between now and Tuesday, this will go to a 0.5. So it's very close. I don't see that happening, but so intermediate. Yeah. Yeah.
At least leave on the.
They can be sick. They can be sick all they want. They can be sick. They've enrolled. They just can't unenroll. They can't go anywhere else until after next Tuesday. Next Wednesday, you go wherever you want. Like intermediate, we were at 4.5. We're staying at 4.5. Discretionary, we were at 3. We're staying at 3. Clerical 2 and 2. Kindergarten para going from a 3.5 to a 4.0, which is half of a para educator. And then primary para is a 4.0 to a 4.5, which is half of a para. Now, if those two kids leave and they're primary, like if they're primary kids, that will kill that primary pair as well. So that's like, we are in that big of a shift. We're right there on the
So
cusp
you
of
lose
it all.
a full position up there and the half.
We'd
pair.
lose a half of a primary teacher and then the half primary para. I don't see it happening, but that would be,
Yeah.
that's the bubble of where we sit. And I think when I talked to some people earlier last week, it was, hey, we don't have it. And then we've gotten them in the last couple of days. So we have been able to account for all of our no-shows. So anybody who did not show up, we are able to do that. We can figure them out. So based on that, this is an increase in certified by 1.0, which is equal to $66,417. I am not positive that these numbers are going to stay, the values are going to stay the same, because we got the 4%, the pretty big raise across the board. This could shift the district average up. So I don't know if they're going to pass along that cost to us and if this number is going to increase or not. So it also increases our classified by 1.0, which is a value of $32,061. So that gives us $98,478 in new funds to utilize. So this is the money we have available to spend. We have $98,478 coming from day 10. We have $50,310.91 sitting in our after-school program fund. We have $13,550 in supplemental duties that are currently just sitting there waiting. And we have $8,184 in Section 6 carry forward, for a total of $170,522.91 that we have available to us to spend. But we also have that $59,000 negative balance
Right.
up there as well. What I do want to caution the council about is I do not want to do, the district is only holding harmless one certified position. They're not holding harmless any classified staff. So if a school bought more classified staff than they need now, those people will be moved into other schools. Same thing with certified. If you've got more classroom teachers than you need, you only get to keep one, and then the rest could get transferred. So my recommendation is, no matter what we decide, I don't want to make anything a full-time 1.0 position, because if we make it a 1.0, we could get those transfers. If it's anything below it, we wouldn't have to. So if it's
Hire
even,
a new person.
we could hire who we want. If it's a 0.9, they can't transfer somebody from a 1.0 position to a 0.9. So that's, when we talk through this, that is my thinking and my rationale here for a lot of things. And I have talked to the grade level that I feel like is the most in need right now, and which is kindergarten, and where we've talked through things. So, and they are comfortable with this recommendation that I'm putting forward today. So my recommendation is, first, let's refund that. We got to pay back the $59,000. We got that we got to do. I would like to keep the after school money intact. The reason for that is, we have the ESSER grant right now, which is funding a position, and that's gone at the end of this year. So that I would like to keep that $50,000 plus whatever we make this year to be able to potentially purchase a position for next school year.
What position is that?
It's currently funding, I think right now it's technically an intervention position,
Okay.
but we've kind of just wherever, yeah,
Okay.
is officially.
And now with the other interventionists, are they getting rid of the grant, the Read to Achieve grant?
The Read to Achieve grant will be gone at the end of this year. Fayette County, it's only the second year of that, but the district is not supporting reapplying for that. So that is gone regardless at the end of this year. So we're going to have to recoup that half of a position
The district
into our book. No,
brought up any
No.
new ideas for
No.
intervention?
You know, an unfunded mandate or anything like
no.
that? Okay.
So luckily, I mean, we did get the Section 7 requests. If you remember, we did that last year and got the extra EL position, which helped here. So I think that's kind of what they're thinking, is schools would utilize Section 7
Okay.
to request.
Okay, 'cause that was.
Yeah. Yes, because that is, as we look forward, that's things that are scaring me. I'm like, okay, we could potentially we're losing that ESSER position, which is an EL, an interventionist right now. We're potentially losing the Section 7 position, which is an EL teacher. We're potentially losing we are losing the RTA grant, which is half of a teacher. Like, so that we're just looking at long-term, I don't think it's in our best interest right now to spend that money. The next area, I would like to keep the supplemental duties intact so that we can effectively pay our staff for staying after school and doing those supplemental activities with all of that. So with whatever's remaining, I forget the total, I'm recommending to the council that we hire 2.7 paraeducators. 0.7 people get full benefits. They would be here from 8 to 1:15 every day. So they would be here for the bulk of kindergarten's instruction. That would allow each kindergarten class to have a full-time para in the morning when their instruction is. And then the only part of their day that they wouldn't have somebody is win time at the very end of the day. And kindergarten is comfortable with that request. They are working to find people. They're working on retired teachers who may just want to come back as a paraeducator. People that have worked here in the building. It is a glorious job, like plus benefits, and like it is just, yeah, like, hey, I just want some play money, and I'm
Mom job.
I'm-
You could still drop your kids off at
Yes.
school. You could get.
I have a couple parents that have expressed interest in the temporary para positions that we're going to approach about these positions. So that is the recommendation. That would leave us with $3,357.60 of this total 170,000. So
That we would feel comfortable spending is what you're.
like we can keep, like that would just be leftover money that we
Right.
could, it would just go into the Section 6 budget where we could maybe afford, like third grades asking for classroom carpets for their rooms. So that we could potentially authorize that, look at just different grade level supports. And
I think there's like a couple of special ed teachers that share a room that don't have boards. and
Yeah.
stuff. Maybe we could do
yeah, so like, yeah, we've got some rooms that where if two people are in a room, we only got one of the ViewSonics. So we could invest in a ViewSonic for those classrooms for them each to have one, because some of them are still functioning on an old smart board with that, that aren't working. So we've got some, that would just give us some more flexibility with all of that. So any discussion around that staffing?
No, it makes sense.
I think if the kindergarten teachers are, if that is what they want, then I'm all in
Yeah.
support.
They were happy with 0.5s, and the fact we were able to get to 0.7s made,
Yeah.
and they asked for it to be not full-time as well, because they want everybody to have as much.
I think that's right.
Right
So
now they have what?
they have two
2 full-time.
full-time.
So then they add.
It'd be
2.4.
3.4 would be what we would be at.
Yeah.
So they, yeah, 2 full-time people and then 2.7s in there. Yeah. So,
Okay, this is a question.
Yes.
And I'm just thinking on behalf of first grade.
Yeah.
If miraculously the numbers grow
mhm.
in first grade, would they be able to get just some level of support in there?
So what we're planning is, because we have some of these students that are getting temporary paraeducators, that we're going to be shifting like our MSD paraeducators that currently are working with those students into our upper primary grade. So first grade will be the first group to get somebody to support until our special education population grows. We're going to be looking at how do we be creative in all of those things. And then yes, like as the year goes on, during recess times, they would push up, and during specials time, they would push up to help with other grade levels.
I only ask because there's only 3
Yes,
classrooms and if students keep coming, there's a chance in it might grow.
yes. And as long as, so we can also get more positions as long as we maintain for, I think it's 15 days. So if we get enrollment and we stay there for 15 consecutive school days, then they will relook at our staffing if we may bump up a little bit. So is somebody comfortable making a motion to approve this recommendation, or do we want to have a special called?
I'll make a motion to approve, please.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Bowers and a second by Ms. Lane. All in favor of approving our recommendation, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. If our numbers come back totally different and I'm totally wrong, we will have a special called meeting just to come back and go through that. So, thank
I
you
would like to
guys.
put my 2 cents in that functioning with one less EL is hard.
Yes,
I'm worried about the children.
Yes. Yes, that is definitely a challenge this year. So moving on to field trips, just letting you guys know, we have 2 grade levels that have put in feedback or put in requests for field trips. Neither needs council approval, but just sharing them with you guys. Kindergarten will be going to Evans Orchard on October 19th to talk about life cycles. Yes, it does say submit to Barbara. I told Amber she needed to fix that. So,
I didn't say anything else. It's point.
I just usually cross it out, right?
and then 5th grade will be going to to Keeneland. That's a totally free field trip, and that is next Friday. So they'll be going there, totally free. They don't pay anything for that.
And you'll be getting hours very soon.
Good.
Hungry and Thursday.
Awesome.
Where are you going? We're buddying to watch a play.
Yeah.
Okay. fun.
Yeah.
I know they're doing Nemo, so I didn't.
Or
Mhm.
is it Nemo? No.
No, it's
No.
Cinderella.
Scappa's doing
Yes,
Nemo.
Well,
So-
then I guess it is. It is Scappa.
Scappa's doing Nemo.
You're doing Nemo.
Oh, we're
Uh-huh.
doing Nemo.
It was in the newsletter this week that Scappa was doing the.
It'll be a fun trip. We will look forward to your paperwork.
Yes.
So we'll really know what we're.
Yes.
You can shut down
Yep.
primary hallway.
Okay, next item is just a magnet school update. If you remember last month, we voted to start this process. I thought I got shafted by the district person. He just wasn't replying, but apparently they were having all sorts of conversations in in central office, but I just wasn't attached to any of them on accident. So I sent a follow-up email. I was like, hello. He was like,
Yeah,
He's-
that's what I'm like, okay.
he called me, he's like, oh my God, we've been talking about you for weeks and just didn't know why you weren't replying. So I have a meeting with the district person on Friday to go over what the process is and how we go forward with that.
I mean,
So,
we're continuing to do grow.
right. And that's still a 2-year process. So it's going to take some time if we go that route.
Right.
So,
Ideally, we can just.
so the last item on our agenda today is just to talk about our after-school program and just share some updates of what I learned with them. I did go to a meeting downtown with our after-school program, the district after-school program director. The after-school program would be fully Glendover. The district has no power over it, but they make us pay them money for it. So that's where we stand. So,
What?
yeah. Yes, the district has 0 power over the after-school program, but they can regulate the things that we do within the after-school program. It's weird. So,
Are you sure?
and so,
Glendover pays the district to have a presence.
yes,
So is the Y paying the district right
no,
now?
the Y pays us.
But that's interesting though, because
Yeah.
there was a time the white didn't even pay us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
they
then
never.
we're paying them.
So this is just some information that I learned and some rough estimates of what it could look like. This is still something that we're considering, but I will tell you, I'm balancing very much the pros and cons of this. If we create our own after-school program, we are required to provide services to any Fayette County, any Glendover student who wants to. Currently, the Y can say we don't have the capacity to support your student. So if we have a student who has high medical needs and chooses to enroll in the after-school program, we have to continue to provide those medical needs after school. If a student has a paraeducator, we have to continue to provide those paraeducator supports. Whereas the YMCA can say, no, we don't have the power there. So there's some pros and cons. I will say other schools that have an after-school program are having a very hard time this year finding staff. Lansdowne has not been able to open their unit, their after-school program this year, because they don't have the staff to run it. So there's issues, there's pros and there's cons. And so just kind of thinking through and going through and working through that process. So currently in our after-school program here with the YMCA, they have 88 students enrolled. There are 88 students here. Our potential income, the Fayette County rate is $11 per day per student. So in a normal week, every student would pay $55 per week. I will say with the Y, it's $70 a week.
$50 seems like a steal.
It is very inexpensive, very low. So, but we,
70 is what you pay?
yeah,
The
so
Y.
the Y pays $70 a week. So, so with that, for a student to come every single day for the entire year, it's about $1,947 for the entire year. So if we take that $1,947 times 88, that gives us a total income of potential income of $171,336. So when we think about expenses, here's some, but not all. There could be other things like insurance that aren't included in this. To run our program, I'm projecting that we would need to pay a director $23,895 for the year. That's $25 an hour for 25 hours a week. Which that is, the $25 is set by the district. And I think 25 hours that would be 1 to 6 every single day, or 1:30 to 6:30. For employee pay, I'm projecting that would cost us $63,720 to employ all of the other staff. The other staff make $17 an hour, or sorry, $15 an hour, and they would work from 2 to 6. And we would have approximately 6 people here each day.
Is that set?
The pay is, yes, that pay rate is set. I have no idea what the Y pays. It is enough that we have teachers, like we have staff here that are considering working for the Y, because that's another benefit of the Y is it's 2 separate entities. So somebody can work 40 hours here and work 20 hours there and make it. If it's a Fayette County thing, if a staff member wants to work, they can only work up until they get to full time, or they go into overtime. We're paying in time and a half.
Which they won't want.
Right. So they're like, so those are like, it's just like, it's thinking through all these things and processing through it all. We would need to pay, any after school program has to have training. So it's about $1,000 a year is what I'm projecting that to be. I believe that the district fee is around $10,000. That's what we would pay to the district.
That is
So
absolutely
they do an app, like they have the after school checkout app that the district funds that we pay our portion of. And then we fund a person who's the program manager over all of this. And I will say it is very difficult to track any after school money. Benefit with the Y is we get a check from the Y. I know we got this much money and that's our money. With that, the money just goes to the district and poof. Nobody can ever figure out what the money ends up in your account, how it gets, so it's a hot mess. Like that's been the blowing up in my principal chat this week is, where is our money? How much money do we have? So
I would love to.
the district,
My other question is, okay, so if the weekly payment is like, is it $55?
$55, yep,
If they don't attend for that week, do they pay?
they pay.
Or they will pay
like
regardless?
We, yes, like we wouldn't,
It's like daycare.
Just like they.
yeah, we have the option to do part-time. If we go this route, I want to say it's full-time or nothing. You're paying the $55. Like you're paying however many days we're in school, that's what you're paying. We're not doing the, hey, I'm coming on Mondays and Wednesdays. Like we have a student here who is literally paying for the Y in the event they need the Y. They have not gone to the Y in 6 months, but they pay the Y $140 to hold the spot in case they need a day where, hey, I need childcare. You're going to the Y.
I almost wonder though, if parents, think this is the district, whether they're more likely to owe them money and not pay than like the Y.
The district, it's auto draft.
Oh.
You sign up
Okay,
for
so
auto
they have
draft.
a way to
They
make
they
sure
they
get the money.
they go
I
get the
think the
money.
Y
Like
is as well.
the Y is
because
auto
I had
draft.
I have 2 kids who are going to the Y for a week because they auto drafted them
Mhm.
and they wouldn't give them their money back. So they're like, fine,
Yeah,
I'll
'cause
just send my
there's
kid for a
probably
week.
like a 15 or 30 day like
Yeah.
thing.
So
You spent them.
additionally, there's it costs about 10 grand for snacks for the entire year, and that's for every kid to get a bag of chips every single day. That's just from Walmart. what it costs to get a bag of chips every single day. And then roughly $10,000 in activity fees, just if we need to buy stuff. So I'm projecting that expenses would be $118,615. So our income projected at 171, expenses at 118, profit would be roughly 52. So that's where I'm,
Profit now.
last year with the Y, we brought in $23,000 and did nothing.
Okay.
So it's that's where we're kind of balancing. So I'm
This
still
seems like a
continuing to work.
massive Undertaking.
It is
on
huge.
top of everything else.
It is huge. Like it is a lot. I'm still pursuing it, still looking at it, still considering it. So this does
It's
not,
gotta be 6 figures before you even consider it.
yes, like that
I'm
is,
not kidding.
I would agree.
Like, I
because
think it's
then-
gotta be like 6 figures, or you're really like,
I would
you're not
agree
even
too,
paying for a
because
teacher. Like
Yeah.
that's not enough money. Like,
and
that's
like if
just-
we do this, the only way to get to 6 figures really is to go up to 166 kids.
And that's like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Like, so,
I mean, I feel like
Hiring
such a,
staff is so hard.
well, and it's such
And
a,
like
it's,
vetting and like that whole process.
it's a lot on the school, like physically on the school,
unpaid
the
headache
cleaning
that
and the
go
wear
with
and
it too
tear
as
and
well,
the.
For you to
Mhm.
just make.
I mean,
that.
$15 an hour, you can go
Yeah.
to Target and make $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Or you could work at my salon for $15 an hour, and it's a very different atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not responsible for children.
so this is not I'm still looking at it. Technically, it doesn't fall under council purview. Technically, it's just, if I want to do it, I get to do it. Like, that's kind of how this stands. So it's still something I'm looking at, but again, like, that's where I was like, I gotta see the money to see, are we gonna make dramatic amounts of money that's gonna be true, that's truly gonna warrant it. So just some food for thought. So other agenda items in your packet, you have our next 4 policies to review. The alignment with state standards, the committees, the instructional practices, and the wellness policy. You should have a supplemental packet with all of that. So any other agenda items we would like to discuss? Seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will motion.
Motion by Ms. Hill, second. Second by Ms. Russell. She hasn't gotten to say anything today. All in favor of adjourning the meeting, please say aye.
Cinderella.
Okay, motion is adjourned at 5:08. Thank you for